Okay, so we're here for part two. I don't have any notes. I'm just gonna go from memory. So, little, for Rhonda to have, such a sprawling house and has invited people that would essentially give Jolanda money. They only raised $1,900, which is like pennies in a bucket as far as fundraising is concerned. And Jolanda let Rhonda know that it was the lowest amount of money she has ever had fundraised for an event. So she was disappointed. There's a scene where Rhonda is there. Her son is turning 17. They're going to have a party, and she brings her husband in the office, and she discusses about gifting him $10,000 as a present. And her thing was, he's going to be off to college, and he's going to need to know how to handle his money. And so that's what she wanted to do, was to gift him that. The husband is not really on board with it because he's like, it's a lot of money. And I think he thinks that there would be a much better way to get him to learn about handling his money before he goes off to college than to give him a big amount of money. I really had... Oh, and when she has the party, okay, the son is really saying, please not wear a bikini, but she wears one piece, and the son still wasn't happy, rightfully so. I definitely wouldn't wear that to my son's birthday party, especially, she's a beautiful woman. She has an amazing body. She has 4 children, and she has an amazing body. Not to say you shouldn't show off your body, but I think that, there's a time and a place. And if your son is feeling a little squeamish about it, I think you should honor that, especially when there's other boys around. But she is definitely the kind of person that revels in having all eyes on her. She is smart and she is beautiful. I think she knows it, and she's not afraid to let people know it. I want to like her, but I don't. But she did have a really good case, and here's where we see another thing about their clients. So she is talking to her client, and I think they are suing the apartment complex or property manager, because it was like your worst nightmare. She and her husband and child, I think it was a daughter or son, I'm not sure, but it was a child, and there was a home invasion in her house, and she was gang raped. So what ended up happening is that there were 4 assailants that came to the house. The father and the child was in another room, and I believe the mother was in the bathroom, and the husband could hear the wife being sexually assaulted in the other room. And one of the premises for them even moving into that complex was that the place had security, and they didn't. And so Rhonda is representing the client to sue against, obviously emotional damage and all that. And it was a really sad case. Juanita is a public defender. She says, unlike everybody else, she doesn't get to pick her clients. They get handed to her. She gets assigned a client, and this client was, I believe, a 17-year-old young boy. He wasn't even from the state. He got pulled over, and he was caught with what was considered codeine, and that would have been a felony. So what ended up happening is they tested the pills. The pills weren't Tylenol, but they weren't codeine. They were some other drug. But that turned from being a felony to, I believe, a misdemeanor. and I believe he got probation. So she was like, listen, consider this a gift. You're not a bad kid. You need to take care of yourself. You need to make better choices. You got parents that love you. Don't do this to them. So that was that case. And then Vivian was handling a case. Evidently, she has been handling not a case, but she has had a client she has known since he was 17. And now he is a husband and a father. And I don't remember what the charge was for, but evidently he supposedly pulled out a knife and he got arrested for maybe attempted assault. What ended up happening in that is that he got probation. He has to go to anger management and, not be so quick to go off on people just because he doesn't like them or they say something. So those were the cases that came through. There's a lot of banter about criminal defense attorneys. Rhonda's very quick to not like what they do because, she thinks that if you're a criminal defense attorney that you must always deal with criminals. Meanwhile, while Rhonda is dealing with this home invasion case, she is really freaking out and she wants a gun. And she's the only one who doesn't own a gun, so they go to a gun range. And so Rhonda really talks a good game about how she doesn't know a lot about criminals, and maybe because Jolanda acts a certain ways because she's always around criminals, and I take care of people and I take down the corporate giants, and it's like she's in this ivory tower, and the criminal attorneys are just kind of grunt workers. And so there's that back and forth. But again, in any profession, you have those little specialties or, different types of, I guess best way to say is specialties, where that in that industry, they think certain, parts are lower than maybe what they do. So, you see it in law, obviously you see it in medicine, you see it in engineering, you see it in teaching, I see it in real estate. Everybody has those specialties within themselves that, the industry doesn't really, it's needed, but, obviously, everybody can't be a brain surgeon, everybody can't be a cardiologist, somebody has to, be an internal, an internist, as an example, or just a primary care doctor. Not everybody can get the glory, whatever that means in that industry. So that is episode 1. So I hope you liked it. Just laying the groundwork. So please hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend about me, leave your comments below. Have you been watching the show? What do you think about the show? Tell me what your first impressions are. Oh, Taya, forgot about her. So Taya is the young blood, and she is married to an older gentleman who happens to be, I think, the president. Oh, leave it in the comments. I think he might be the president, or he has a big position in the NAACP chapter. And she is a second wife. She is a second wife, and Vivian, the matriarch, rubbed her the wrong way, because who does this? Okay, so they're meeting for dinner or something, cocktails or whatever, and Vivian's like, yes, I know your husband, and I know his ex-wife, and I know their children. Who does that? Who does that? Couldn't you just say, hi, I'm Vivian, nice to meet you? I mean, are you trying to like mark territory? I mean, it's not even your husband, it's her husband. Like, I didn't understand that. So she is not to be pushed around. She's a civil litigator. We didn't see her with any cases, but she doesn't feel like she needs to, because she's the young person, bow down because you're the older person. And I think you know, that is an ongoing thing. Someone who's considered of a certain age feels entitled to have a certain amount of respect done to them, just because of their age. And you've got people, I'm sorry, who are in their late 20s, 30s, who, you know, are a boss in their own right, and they don't feel like they need to bow down. They're like, hey, we are peers. You're not my mother. We are peers, and I don't owe you any respect. You want respect, you give respect, you get respect, and that's it. So it's going to be interesting about that. Rhonda also doesn't like Taye, because she also feels like we have an inner circle of ladies and you are not part of the circle. So you need to know your place. And Taye is like, okay, y'all are old. As far as, you know, she's like, y'all are old ladies. Like, what are you tripping over? So there's a couple of dynamics. So again, we're going to be done. And let me know your first impressions about the ladies, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.